I'm going to tell you something that might sting a little bit, but if you're watching this video, I think you can handle it. Being out of shape, it's not neutral. It's not just a phase, and it's not something you'll get to eventually. Being out of shape is actively costing you. It's costing you confidence, it's costing you impact, and it's costing you time. And most people never take the time to calculate that cost. And I know this because I've lived it. There was a season in my life where I felt dull. I felt like I wasn't making any progress, and in fact, I felt like I was regressing. My mind wasn't clear, my body was soft, my words meant nothing. If I said I was gonna do something, I wouldn't do it. And there was such a big gap between where I was and where I wanted to be, it was demotivating. Every single day, it just felt defeated, if I'm honest. And I don't talk about this season of my life very often because I'm not proud of it, but I found myself being lax with my nutrition. I found myself skipping workouts. I found myself sleeping in when I told myself I was gonna get up and read. I essentially became a shell of who I am and who I know I'm meant to be. But at the time, it felt easier to do that than to fix all the problems that were in my life. If you're new here, my name is Jacob Beneventi. I own Limitless Transformation Coaching. And for the last decade, I've worked exclusively with entrepreneurs, executives, investors, high-performing individuals to help them transform their physiques so that they look better, feel better, and lead better. And here's what I've noticed time and time again. Some of the people who are winning most professionally tolerate the biggest misalignment physically. And it's not because they don't care. It's not because they're lazy. It's because fitness has been framed the wrong way for them. Let me explain. If you're a leader, you already understand leverage. And you understand systems. You also understand that small inefficiencies over time will compound, just like small efficiencies over time will also compound to getting the results that you want. That's the whole idea of leverage. Yet when it comes to your fitness and your physique, you treat it like an afterthought rather than an asset that will drive performance. And so you hear people say things like, I'll focus on my fitness when things slow down. Or this is just a really crazy quarter, next quarter it will be more easy. Or once my kids are older and out of sports, I'll be able to get to the gym. When life slows down, I'll begin. That's actually a logical decision-making process. What's not logical about it is that time in the future when everything slows down doesn't exist. In fact, it's been my experience in business and in spectating my clients who are killers in business that things only ever speed up. The only time things slow down is when you start to die, when your business starts to decay. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Things don't slow down. Responsibilities don't just magically fade away. And the standard that you are held to as a leader will only go up. Meanwhile, being out of shape, being out of alignment, it taxes you in ways that you don't even consider. And one of the major ways it taxes you is by way of your confidence. Because confidence isn't just how you feel in the gym or how you feel at the pool or the beach. It's about how you walk into a room, how you carry yourself, the eye contact that you hold, the resonance that you have with other people. It's also how decisively you speak. When your body is out of alignment with the standard you hold for yourself in every other area of your life, it starts to become this wet blanket over the energy and the light that lives within you. And you've probably experienced this at different times when you've been more in shape and more out of shape. And you might not consciously think about it, but it shows up. It shows up in hesitation and overthinking and playing smaller than you are designed to play. And when you're a leader, you can't afford to have your confidence being hindered by this asset that's supposed to be your physical body. And when you're leading other people, presence matters. Energy matters, and impact matters. Now let's talk about impact because I've worked with some of the most successful people, and here's what I know for sure. When you're out of shape and out of alignment physically, your impact will shrink. Not because you're incapable, but because you're compensating. More caffeine, less sleep, more energy to do the same effort. You're not using leverage, you're using your willpower. You're essentially grinding when clarity would be a better option. And that's not leadership. That's survival mode. That's exhausting. And then there's time. And that's the most precious thing you have. It's the most precious thing I have. And a lot of people say, I don't go to the gym or I don't work out because it's too much time. But being out of shape is also costing you time. It's costing you foggier mornings, less mental clarity to make important decisions, longer recovery from stress, and more mental energy to do the exact same work. You end up having to do more work to get the exact same outcome. If you're a high achiever, that should bother you, because the same person who optimizes their calendar, their schedule, their team, and their finances tolerates the most inefficient version of themselves physically. And look, I'm not saying that with judgment, I'm saying it with clarity, because I know this industry, the fitness industry, has done a terrible job of serving successful people. They want you to grind harder and try all these fad diets. They want you to train like a 22-year-old gym bro with no responsibilities. But for leaders, that model doesn't work. Just like you don't build a business by grinding harder forever, you don't build an elite body by suffering endlessly. You build it with a clear vision of where you're headed, ideally a vision that excites you, simple and repeatable systems, data instead of feelings, and accountability that removes friction on your pathway. If that sounds familiar, it should, because if you're successful in any area of your life, you probably follow a very similar model. And so the real issue here isn't that you can't get in shape, it's just that nobody's taught you how to turn fitness into leverage, a tool that adds to your life, as opposed to something that takes from your life. And because you have this belief that fitness is gonna take more than it gives, you either avoid it, you don't stay consistent with it, or you don't engage with it with intentionality so that you get the result you're after. Because when fitness is done properly, it doesn't steal from your life, it gives back. More confidence when you walk into a room, more energy late in the day when most people's energy is fading, and more decisiveness because now your body isn't dragging your mind down. And once that clicks, something interesting happens. You stop saying, do I have time for this? And you start asking yourself, how did I ever live without this in my life? So look, one consideration right now in this moment, ask yourself, what is the true cost? What is the cost of being out of shape? How is it affecting you? How is it affecting your confidence? How is it affecting your energy? How is it affecting your relationships? How is it affecting how you perform at work? How is it affecting how you feel in your own skin? When you get out of the shower in the morning and you look in the mirror, is that reflection an accurate representation of who you are inside? Or is there a gap? Because there's a good chance you're the type of person who demands excellence in every area of your life. And this is an area that cannot wait much longer. And this is a topic I care about deeply because it's something I didn't really even think about. I knew it unconsciously when I decided to get in shape and I decided to figure my own fitness out and get consistent with it, that it benefited my life. I just didn't know all the ways that it did. And as a coach, I get to see it through other people, that when they transform physically, when they start showing up for themselves, their identity begins to shift. Their behaviors change, but their energy does too. And when you look your best, feel your best, and you're your most confident, that's when you can have the greatest impact. That's when your relationships can really flourish. And that's when you can be the inspiration to other people around you know you're meant to be. If this video was helpful, comment down below. If there's any topics you want me to cover in future videos, also comment those down below. I appreciate you. I believe in you. If you want to learn more about Limitless and what we do, this video would be a good one to watch. It's probably somewhere on the screen here. I'll make sure I pin it to this video. And go ahead and have a great rest of your week.